Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Ninja Blast, and welcome to another one of my commentaries. In this commentary, I'm going to be talking about some of the top games of 2011, being Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, Battlefield 3, Uncharted 3, and Gears of War 3. So, last year, around July, I made a video that was kind of stating my thoughts on which game would probably be the best. So, first I'm going to start off by talking about Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. Modern Warfare 3 was very similar to its predecessors, which obviously makes sense due to the huge success of Call of Duty since Modern Warfare 2. It is very similar, fast-paced like Modern Warfare 2, but also has some new weapons, obviously all new maps, and a continuing campaign that was actually very good in my opinion, was the best in the series. I thought it was fun if you hadn't played Call of Duty for that long. Although I guess there are technically some people that have been playing Call of Duty for a long time and still enjoyed Modern Warfare 3. But a lot of people that've been playing for a long time, including myself, don't find it as fun as it used to be. Next, I'm going to be talking about Battlefield 3. Battlefield 3 definitely had a lot of anticipation, especially when they announced that they were going to try to compete directly with Call of Duty. And both Call of Duty and Battlefield 3 may be military shooters, but they are actually very different in many ways. Battlefield 3 I thought is a much slower paced and more of a tactical shooter, which requires teamwork in all cases in order to actually win or be successful in many things. The vehicles really added a lot to the gameplay with all the new jets, helicopters, tanks, Humvees, and all sorts of things. The giant maps, the squad spawns, both added fun to the gameplay. Another thing that I thought was very well made was the campaign. Sure, it wasn't exactly your most, it didn't have very strong character development like Call of Duty usually does, but it did have a lot of intense moments in it. The co-op was decent, even though there was only 6 missions. I thought they were very fun to play with friends. Finally, another thing that was unique about it was the 64 player and 24 in the console's case, lobbies and the giant maps. On the PC, I thought it was more of a better experience than on the console, just because of the frame rate, the graphics, and after all, it is built for the PC. But I mean, the 64 player lobbies were definitely very fun to play through. And the maps were also decreased in size for the consoles due to the limit of 24 players. So the next game I'm going to be talking about is Uncharted 3: Drake's Deception. The Uncharted series has always been known for its single-player cinematic story, and this time it does not disappoint. I think that Uncharted 3 did a great job in making lots of well-made environments, good characters, and a very surprising story, especially in the beginning. The story starts off at a very interesting intro, where eventually leads up to a twist where it twists up the gameplay from its norm. Like introduced in the second game, this game also has multiplayer, which was vastly improved from the Uncharted 2's multiplayer. It has much more unlockables, more customizations, and I think overall the maps were also better. Another thing it has is co-op. There's survival and mission co-op, which can be played with 3 people like in Uncharted 2. The survival mode is similar to the mission, except it all revolves around one area and certain objectives need to be done. There's a set number of lives for each one, and all of the players have to work together to survive. Finally, I'm going to be talking about Gears of War 3. Gears of War 3 improved upon what Gears of War 2 did a lot. Gears of War 2's campaign was very well made. Everyone loved it, but that was really only it. The 2-player co-op for it was probably one of the funnest ever. But this time with Gears of War 3, you were able to play 4-player co-op this time throughout the entire campaign, without it ruining the cinematic experience, which was Epic's reasoning for having Gears of War 1 and 2 only 2-player co-op. But they didn't seem to like when developers decided to add on a random character that didn't make sense at all with a story it was never mentioned of. Take Halo, for example. Ever since the first Halo, supposedly Master Chief was actually the last Spartan alive. But I mean, you were able to play in co-op, which added another Master Chief. Or in Halo 3's case, if you had more than 2 people, one of you were the Arbiter, the other one was Master Chief, and then the other 2 were either Master Chief or the Arbiter, depending on the player. Which sort of fixed it too, but I mean, I didn't really think it mattered that it would ruin any sort of cinematic experience that the game had. all that was fun was playing co-op with your friends. But after all, they were able to achieve this goal without having to add in any random characters that didn't exist. Another thing that was great about this game was all the characters that they brought back. I thought they added even more personality and more emotion to each of the characters. As far as I can tell, every single character that you saw in Gears of War 1 and 2, that didn't die of course, were brought back in this game. Another mode that they brought back from Gears of War 2 was Horde mode. That is a 5-person survival game that was very similar to a tower defense due to its upgradable structures that you could build, all its money that you get per kill, and overall I thought it was a very well improved game that you could play through all of the multiplayer maps, especially when you play with 5 people you actually know. Another brand new mode that was actually introduced in Gears of War 3 was actually a mode called Beast mode, where it was similar to Horde mode, except you played the opposite team, which were the Locust. You were able to play as many things, including experiencing what the life of a ticker is, and seeing what it's like to heal people as the Cantus by screaming. This mode was I thought was a good twist of things, but it isn't really something that I play that much, since after all it is limited to I think 15 rounds. I could be wrong on that. But after you finish the 15 rounds, usually it's somewhat fun to experiment in all different maps. But I mean, I didn't think it was that much fun. Finally, I'm going to be talking about Gears of War 3's multiplayer. This was definitely my favorite part of the game. As good as the campaign was, I thought that the multiplayer was really added in to how fast-paced Gears of War really can be, and I think it takes a lot of strategy to actually get good at Gears of War. It's similar in a way to chess, if you ask me. Yet your mindset has to be that you have to try to outsmart your opponent. This is the first time that Gears of War has ever seen team deathmatch, and I think Epic had a good idea when they thought about having 20 lives per team, 2 rounds. But the thing is, the lives were kind of sorted out differently. Once 15 lives get drained, everyone has their own individual life. And then it turns into kind of a survival match where you know that it's your last life, so most people usually tend to try their hardest to not die. This game is really team-oriented, similar to Halo, because usually 1 person versus 2. There's a difference between a 1 versus 1 situation and a 1 versus 2 situation, where the 1 person actually can beat the 2, but the thing is, if the other 2 players work together well enough, and they should be able to beat the single person alone. Unless both of them get outsmarted by the single person too. So really, it all has to do with skill. So overall, what I thought was Gears of War 3 was my favorite shooter that came out in 2011. And I have to really say it's because of all those reasons. I mean, I played this game for a long time when it came out last September. And actually I'm playing it still recently due to its season pass content that I got, where you pay for, kind of similar to Call of Duty Elite, you pay for this time I think it's $30, and you get all the DLCs for free. And they did say that there's going to be 4. The 3rd one has come out at this point, and I'm not too sure what the 4th one could possibly be, but they've added many things like new campaign, a whole bunch of maps, and also the dedicated servers are apparently also exclusive to the people with Season Pass or with all the DLCs. So as good as the other games were, Gears of War 3 is definitely my favorite, and I can't wait to see what Epic is going to come up with next, since they did say that they're most likely done with the Gears of War, but they could add more campaign with the next DLC, or actually make a completely different game that has to do with another squad's story. So enjoy the rest of the gameplay. I'm just going to end this commentary right here, and hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching. This has been Ninja Blast, and bye. Oh, and by the way, for anyone who's watching the gameplay, you could have seen maybe in the Modern Warfare 3 gameplay, I started off really badly, but actually end up winning in a pretty ridiculous way. So, yeah.
Enemy care package incoming. Enemy UAV spotted.